Today on Nerd and Normal, it's almost here, the happiest time of the year.
Ho, ho, ho!
The man in a big red suit. It's Christmas.
Welcome to Nerd and Normal with Matthew and Gareth, opening your mind to the world of technology. So let's get started.
Merry Christmas to you, Gareth, and everyone watching us and listening to us right now. And Christmas is important for everybody, especially family, community, and everyone around them. And for me, Christmas is exactly that, family. It's a chance for people to get back together again that might not have seen each other for quite some time, not have as many arguments as we always end up doing.
Yeah,
but,
thank goodness.
But especially it's for the kids. Their enjoyment of Christmas, their excitement they get from the presents every year. But again, it's family, it's community, it's getting together once again.
Look, I agree with that, Matthew, and the idea of the child being at the centre. Because for me, Christmas is all about anticipation. The anticipation of the day coming and hasn't arrived yet. The anticipation of what's under the Christmas tree and what the presents are. The anticipation then of opening them. And if you've got grandchildren like me, then wanting to play with the Christmas paper and not the toy that was in the box that was wrapped in the Christmas pay. It's a mystery. It's a special gift. And it's a gift we can all share by having patience, by expressing to our loved ones the love that sometimes we don't use all the time. Just saying, I love you. And knocking on your neighbour's door. Because Christmas is full of joy, but sadly, there are a lot of people that don't have that same joy. So touching someone else who may be in trouble is also important at Christmas. So Christmas for me is sharing. And so Matthew, again to you, Merry Christmas, because you've got a lot of kids to look after.
I have myself and my kids. That's all you need to look after. It's just the kids.
All right, let's look at some of the things that you can buy for Christmas. I mean, Boxing Day. A Boxing Day test is what I'll be doing on Boxing Day, but you'll be shopping. Why is Boxing Day important, do you think?
Well, Boxing Day these days comes down to saving money for people. It's one of the biggest sales of the year. So a little bit later on today, I'll talk about getting computers and TVs, getting the right option for you for that. But think about it, you've got TVs people are buying right now. You have new computers. Phones, people are going out buying new phones because of 000 issues. So all these things are likely going to be on sale. But there's a whole lot of other devices you can buy that usually you wouldn't think about buying at all. But the chance arises, Boxing Day sales, we can try and save some money.
I don't have the money to save. But look, really, what about the images you see on television and the news on Boxing Day evening of people pushing each other to get into the local department store to get the bargain, and then I pick up a pair of socks and someone grabs the same pair of socks and you're pulling the socks apart because it's on sale? Is that really what you want?
Well, I haven't seen that for a long time. With all the online sales these days, people don't go into Myer and Grace Brothers like they used to do. I know it's not Grace Brothers anymore, it's all gone. But
no, it's now Myer. It's now Myer. David Jones is still here, but it's Myer and Grace Brothers. Anyway, sorry.
I'm just too old, it's a problem. Yeah. But just think back to what it was like then, when it was those sort of busy things. These days, it's all about doing it online. But you don't get to feel and touch and get the excitement of actually finding the thing that you want to find hidden away in the drawer somewhere in a department store. It's now about trying to find it quickly and easily. So it comes down to knowing what you want to try and find. But there's little things, the things that you don't often see that you think, I don't really need that. Maybe you do.
You can always use it as a present in 2026. Well, it is the 21st. It's not Boxing Day yet. There's still time if you haven't bought your Christmas presents. Just a couple of areas that I'd like to get your feedback on. What about entertainment and gaming ideas? What should we be on the guard for there?
So make sure that you don't buy too many. Kids these days like to spend, if they can, hours upon hours on technology, on screen time. They need to be able to escape that and focus on the outside world. Toys, books, riding a bike, being outside, being a child. So if you are going to do that, find out from the kids what they actually want to play. What's the franchise they like? Don't just buy the cheap $20 games from Big W or Kmart, because they don't last very long. They're 10 minutes long of playing time and they'll get put in a drawer somewhere and forgotten about. You've wasted the money on the kids and they won't like it. So find out what games they do want. If they need controllers for their consoles because their controllers have been thrown across the room in frustration and have become damaged, buy them those things. Just find it. Don't say, I want to buy you something, Jimmy. What should I buy you? Ask questions about what franchises they like. Find out from them what their options are.
Okay. What about docking stations? What's the purpose? And What should I be on the lookout for?
That's a good one. So docking stations come in handy these days. With most laptops now coming with only 1 or 2 USB slots, you don't have many places to plug things in. So you need places where you can plug in multiple different USB devices. But not just USB devices, but also the idea of plugging a screen into a laptop. You think of having the laptop as just sitting there. One screen you can't do much with. If you get a docking station, you can plug a whole second screen into the computer, and it gives you 2 screens then for the price of 1.
Why do I want to see you on 2 screens, though?
It might not be me, though. You might decide on one screen you want to have, or you can have the same thing on both screens if you want to. Or, if you want to, you can have different things on both screens. You can have one screen sitting there with your emails open, other screen could be sitting here with YouTube open, or you're playing a game at the same time your email's sitting over there. So 2 screens comes in handy. Or you can have more screens. I've seen setups with 6 screens all over the place. For what reason, I don't know, because I don't see the reason for 6 screens, but people want to do it. So a docking station gives you the chance for more USB slots, you can plug multiple things in, and also the other screen which can come in handy.
Now, I know they're an issue with some airline companies not allowing power banks on the airline. What should we be doing if I want to buy a power bank so I can charge my phone when I'm not at home to plug it into the wall?
This is a huge one right now. So as time's going on, more and more airlines are now saying you can't bring power banks on anymore. So you've got to make sure the one you get is a high quality. You're going to pay extra for these things, but they're going to be given the clearance to go onto planes. The important thing is it needs to be large enough battery capacity it's going to actually do a good job, but also be cleared for the planes to go on. You're looking mostly at brand names. So the 2 main ones you see these days are Belkin and Ugreen, same as the docking stations. So make sure you get a quality one from a quality retailer after you've done the research on which ones are actually allowed and approved to go onto the plane. Because if a battery explodes on a plane, the plane does not survive very well at all. And that's where they're blocking them. Is they're saying, no, you can't bring these on because there's a likelihood of them exploding, which is fair.
But are they going to? Oh my, not asking you to answer for the check-in people, but are they going to? No, Belkin is the one that's acceptable, but that's not Belkin. How are they going to? Won't they just blanket ban all power boards?
Without a doubt, what they'll be doing is they'll have a list of either models or photos of ones that will be allowed on the plane.
Okay.
And that's why you got to make sure that they're done, because the problem is the cheap ones aren't being looked after properly. They've all got pretty much the same lithium-ion cells inside of them, but the controlling chip, the brains of the battery banks are different, and they're not all, unfortunately, not all checking the temperatures of the lithium-ion cells, not all checking the charge rate or discharge rate of those, which then makes them overheat, which makes them explode.
Okay. I want to get on to the voice assistants, AI voice assistants like Siri and Google and Alexa very shortly. But look, it is our Christmas special. We can't have a Christmas special without some Christmas trivia. How many reindeer are there?
9.
No, there are only 8. The 9th wasn't existing before 1949. So in 1823, there were only 8. Where were the 8 listed?
On the sign in Santa's workshop, where he ticks all the things off, and they've had their carrots for the day.
So he has the 8 reindeers' names on food bowls so that they know which bowl to go to. Yeah, well, that makes sense. The 8 reindeer. You have children.
I do.
Did you never read to your children "'Twas the night before Christmas"?
Of course I did. That's one of their favourite stories. That's the time of the year.
That's where the reindeers' names are.
For the first time?
Yes, in 1823, a very clever man by the name of Clement Clark Moore, who wrote that story, gave us the names of Santa's reindeer, the real reindeer for Santa. And they are? Tell me you know that.
Donner, Dasher, Blitzen, Cupid, Comet, Donner...
Comet? Comet?
Comet? Yeah, he's the singing one. Comet does sonnets.
Cupid and Comet. Oh, goodness gracious. What about Donner and Blitzen?
Yeah, they're there too.
Do you know what they were originally?
What they were originally? They were reindeer.
Yeah,
It's Christmas time.
Now I know why you're the nerd. It doesn't matter what they were. At least you got one of those many questions right. Christmas trivia. And lastly, how many wise men are there?
Well, there's me,
Yeah.
Sometime there's you.
Yeah. No, I'm normal. I'm not wise. You're the nerd.
Oh, you mean those
How
wise
many
men?
wise men in the Bible?
There were three of them. There were three.
Oh, right. What were their names?
Donna, Cupid,
No!
and Rudolph.
Casper's one, and not the ghost, all right? Not the ghost. And Melchior and Balthazar, they were named in the 19th century by a European monk. Enough of the trivia. The AI voice assistants. Is it right that Google Gemini is going to replace Siri on Apple?
At some stage, yes. As we move from my intelligence to actual artificial intelligence, yes, there is a possibility very soon of Google Gemini being on the Apple devices. They haven't modified Siri in a long time with Apple. So it's been the same system for a long, long time. And they've realised how good Gemini actually is at doing what Siri used to do. So Apple are still currently in talks to try and find a reasonable price to pay Google to have their Gemini system running on the Apple phones. Meanwhile, it's already running on the Pixel phone. So if you have a modern Pixel phone, you have Gemini already there. So you can see and test what it's like. One day soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. They're going to fix, Apple's going to fix 26.1 of it. Yeah, go on.
If only. We'll come to that another time as well. But hopefully one of these days, if you've bought the Google Home speakers, which a lot of people have, they might put Gemini into those as well. That way it gives a better AI experience for people who have those Google devices they've had for a long, long time.
That means my radio station and the entire Nine network may actually be able to play their radio stations on those Google little domes because Google did an update and for a while you couldn't access them at all. Now you can access them, but they only play for 30 minutes and then they turn off. Sorry. You were saying?
That's been fixed. That's a Google fix.
Yeah. Certainly is a Google fix.
The big issue with that comes down to software makers. Will they be able to get their programs to work with Gemini on those devices? And that we have time to tell. Hopefully, they get it all worked out soon because I think AI has its benefits here and there. But you've got to make sure you don't say certain words near other people's devices because you end up making their devices do things when they don't want to do it. Whether it be that four-letter word from Apple, the actual name of the company with their own Gemini system, or the Amazon one with the A, which...
Alexa.
Yeah, just only don't say it. You can't say it.
I just want the person who's watching now who's got one of those, the thing to answer our question before we get there. They'll get the trivia questions right. They'll know how many reindeer there are. We didn't say who the 9th reindeer was, by the way. It's Rudolph with that famous red nose. And who was the singer who gave us in 1949, and no, I wasn't here then, who was the singer who gave us Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? You remember? He's a cowboy.
Cowboy.
Oh,
was he one of the Village People? That was it, the Village Person.
Oh, nerd. You should know the answer to the... It was Gene Autry. Moving right along.
Was he the Village People as well?
Notice on my wall, I have an analog clock, not a digital clock.
Hey, you want to know what's good about phones? Well, they might be getting stuff organised with Google Gemini going onto Apple phones. Payphones still exist.
Today, you can still talk to actually a real Santa. Telstra has done amazing. I know they did it a number of years ago, but any payphone, remember the old things you used to put cards and or money into a telephone box? Well, you can go into any one of the payphones when you find one, and you can dial ho, 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 or hashtag ho, 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 which is hashtag 46, 46, 46, and talk to Santa.
You can actually speak to Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. My kids have done this a fair few years. They love doing it. They like to talk to Santa and let him know what they want. Not just through the letters they send through the mail, which we'll come to that in a second, but also on the phone. And Santa says back exactly what they want for the most part. Santa's unfortunately not from Australia, so our accents don't often work so well with Santa, but he does a pretty good job working out what the kids want.
And he also knows the name of the child talking to him.
Of course he does. It all works perfectly fine and smoothlessly working. Smoothlessly and seamlessly working. Just like my shirt is smoothlessly working too.
Yeah, we'll swap shirts and coats at the end of our session. And what about letters? Can you still get letters to Santa Claus? I know Australia Post are offering some sort of service.
They are. So years ago, you'd take the letter, you'd put it into the boxes in the supermarkets or into the roadside post boxes. These days, they don't do that anymore. What you've got to do these days is find an open post office somewhere in Australia, which is always fun, and you take your letter into the people in the post office, and they have a pile of letters Santa's already pre-written out that they give to the people as they give them the letters. So Santa gives the letters to the kids, and also the kids get to do the letters to Santa as well.
When I used to work at 2SM 1,000 years ago, we did the breakfast show, and we had a program where we invited children to write letters to Santa Claus, and then Santa Claus would get the letters and he would reply, and we'd then post them on to the child. And I kept a few because Santa shared them with me. These are real letters to Santa, and these are the ones that Santa was prepared to give back to us to say, well, you can use these if you want to. Here's one. Santa, dear Santa, do you wear pillows in your tummy, or is that real you? Bobby, age 5. Or, dear Santa, you don't have to leave me anything for Christmas. Just leave me something for all the other days. That was Michael, who is age 6. How about this? This comes from Robert, and he's age 7. Now, I apologise, Robert, if you're listening or watching at the moment, reading out yours, because your brother's going to know. He said, hey, Santa, send me a machine gun and a box of stink bombs. I'm planning a surprise for me big brother, Robert, age 7. I'm glad I'm not Robert's brother. Oh, one last one, and this is a nice one. Please, I don't want anything for Christmas. I just want to make my mummy happy, just for a few days, as our daddy left us all alone. Please, can you send her a card, just to make her happy again? And if you do send me a present, I would like a book for drawing. Stephanie, aged 8. Which reminds me, at Christmas time, there are going to be, and there always are, a lot of people who are really down and out at Christmas, either financially, emotionally, don't have family, don't have friends. It might be a pretty good thing to do to knock on your neighbour's door just to wish them a happy Christmas. Because Christmas is joy for many, but it's also grey and dark for a lot of people as well.
You can never tell what somebody's going through in their lives just by their front door.
No, you can't. And it pays to make contact, because you said at the start, it's all about community. It's all about sharing that love, the love of Christmas. Anyway, that's the letters for Santa.
I think he quite enjoyed getting those again.
Yeah, I was watching him on the screen smile and looking down at reading one of the letters. That's pretty clever. You've got the nerd has got the best contacts with Santa Claus. I tell you what, do you have the same relationship with Mrs. Claus? I mean, do you suggest things to her so she can tell him, and that way you get an extra special present?
No, because if you try and talk to Mrs. Claus, you get in trouble all the time because, you got to try and keep the boss happy.
Okay. We were going to come back to buying what to do when you are going to come back, when you're going to buy a television screen, a monitor, or a computer. What should I do on the Boxing Day sales? Yes,
Boxing Day sales are where everything goes on sale, and you've got to be careful what you're going to buy, because you end up with places trying to sell you a whole range of things, and not all of them are going to be any good. So when it comes to TVs, work out what size you need, not what size you want. You don't need the biggest TV because it might not fit in your house. It might not be able to fit through your door even. So make sure you get a TV that's the right size for your house, for your wall, if you're going to wall mount it, and make sure that it has all the smart features you need. You might not think you need smart features, but these days you have all the catch-up services on TV with their ABC iView and 7 Plus and the rest of them.
Yep.
And Netflix is also there, and YouTube. Unfortunately, not all TVs are made the same in terms of their software. So check to see when the TV was made. If the TV the store's trying to sell you is, say, for example, 3 years old, because it's a run-out model they've got in the warehouse somewhere, you don't want to touch it. You want to make sure the TV is reasonably new, whether it be 12 months or less in age. That way you're guaranteed to get the most updates for the TV in terms of the programs running on there.
But won't the television's monitor you buy, won't it have built into it updates so that it updates anyway?
Only for a certain amount of time. Because what happens is they say, we'll update our TV for the next 3 years, and that's all they guarantee. After that, You've had issues of Netflix and YouTube have both said, we're going to stop supporting these TVs because they're too old, the software we can run on them.
Yep.
I've seen ABC iView literally stop working on a 5-year-old TV because it's supposedly not powerful enough to still run ABC iView, but other apps still work perfectly fine on there. So check to make sure that it's going to run updates for a while. I always say the same thing. LG and Samsung, they're the two main TV brands I recommend because their systems update consistently on a regular basis.
LG
and Samsung.
not Sony.
Not Sony. Sony's software is these days mostly the Android TV system, and they don't control that. They just get it from Google and run with it.
Gosh, I've got a Sony and it does everything that I want it to do.
Mm-hmm. But if Google decides to stop updating your TV, Sony can't make them. Whereas Samsung and LG both control their systems.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not going to buy a new television anyway. I'll keep the one I got. They're too expensive.
Whatever it works, keep it going.
And with the current set of OLED and non-OLED, is it worth walking down the OLED path? I mean, can the human eye really detect those extra pixels?
The problem isn't the pixel count. The problem comes down to the brightness of what the screen can do and how dark the darks get and how bright the brights get. And in the shops, you can't see it. You look at when you're walking down the aisles in Harvey Norman or JB Hi-Fi or somewhere, it's a bright room with lots of TVs all playing different programs quite often, sometimes the same things, but they're optimized to display things for the store, not for your environment. So it comes down to needing to know how bright the room's going to be. Are you going to be able to close all the blinds and make it all nice and dark to do things? Or is it going to be a really bright room you're going to have the TV in? Depending on what it is, then depends on what sort of TV you get, whether it be QLED, OLED, and the range goes on and on and on with different kinds.
But technologically, not technologically, in terms of what the eye can do and not do, is it worth spending the extra money for a house to get an OLED screen as opposed to a non-OLED screen?
Oh, that's the big question, because OLEDs usually give you darker darks, it gives you better contrast. However, these days the new LED technology actually has different coloured LED lights behind the screen. So normally with an OLED and normal LED screens, you have white LEDs behind the screen blasting out light. With the new ones they're releasing now, then the screen itself does the colours. The new ones actually have the different coloured lights behind, so red, green and blue lights behind it blasting out, and they change depending on what the screen actually has. So you get a better quality picture, better quality colour out of these new LEDs than what OLED can actually match as well.
Wow.
So it's you pay more for it, but those prices will then come down too over time. So it's difficult to sort of know what the plan is going to be for you. It just comes down to having to find on research on the internet, find what people have said about different things in different environments.
Makes sense.
You want to look at the main thing is the software for you, and then once you've worked out this manufacturer or that manufacturer, you then look into those sort of technologies on your environment.
Okay. I still on Boxing Day will look at the cricket, not go to Boxing Day ourselves. Is there any other, for our Christmas Day special, is there anything else that you want to add before we bring up something other special item?
The important thing when it comes to Boxing Day sales is computers. People are going to be buying computers left, right, and centre. So, yes, this is the time to do it right now. You want to make sure you get the computer that's right for you. Don't want to just walk in there and get the cheapest possible computer because it's going to be absolute garbage. Like we've done in the past, you want to make sure any computer you get has either an Intel i3, i5, i7, consistently the I is always there, CPU or brains, or an AMD Ryzen 357. So again, that has the Ryzen in the name. At least 16 gigabytes of memory. That way it's got room for programs to run and things to work on there. And these days, as much space as you possibly can. 512 gigabytes of space is more than enough. If you're looking at a laptop, try and get one with a keyboard you like. The number of keyboards I see that they're really floppy, or the keys don't work very well, or the screen is too small. So be aware of not just the parts inside, but what the computer actually feels like and looks like on the outside too.
Wow. 21st of December today, all those things I've got to do before Christmas. Certainly not on Boxing Day, but before Christmas. have you? Did you send out Christmas cards?
I did not do any Christmas cards this year. Normally, I send out some, and the kids normally get some from school, but they didn't get any this year.
Yeah, well, I think Christmas. I love Christmas cards. In fact, let me share with you and our friends watching us right now something very special about Christmas cards.
I have a list of people I know, all written in a book. Every year at Christmas time, I go and take a look. This is when I realise that these names are now a part, not of the book they're written in, but of my very heart. For each name stands for someone who has touched my life in some way. And while it sounds fantastic for me to make this claim, I really feel I am composed of each remembered name. Even if you may not be aware of any special link, just meeting you has shaped my life far more than you may think. For once you've met someone, the years cannot erase the memories of a pleasant word or of a friendly face. So never think my Christmas greeting is just a mere routine of names upon a Christmas list forgotten in between. For when I send a Christmas card that is addressed to you, it's because you are on my list of those I am indebted to. For I am but a total of the many folks I've met, and you are one of those I prefer not to forget. And whether I have known you for many years or few, in some way you have been part of shaping things I do. And every year when Christmas comes, I realise anew the best gift that life can give is having friends like you. So may the spirit of Christmas, that forever endures, leave its richest blessings in the hearts of you and yours.
That's rather nice, Gareth. I'm glad I'm included in that as well, I hope. But one thing we don't want to forget about is the important thing for kids especially is knowing where Santa is in terms of getting to their house right now. And there are luckily 2 websites you can track Santa with. I'll put the links in the description down below, but one of them is from Google, and for the time being, you can't track him. He's not really doing much right now. He's getting ready. So you can actually do some games on the Google website as you get ready to actually see what Santa's doing and where he's going to be, and then track him as he travels all over the world on Christmas Eve. And that's the Google one, but NORAD, which have been doing it for many, many years, also have their website almost ready to go. And you can jump on there. Again, in the show description down below, we'll have the links for you can get to that. And you can check out to see where he's going on either one of those 2 systems to see, and just make sure he's going towards your house. Because he's got to make sure he gets there with the presents, not the coal for you.
Oh, well, he'll only bring coal if you've been bad. So the tip is make sure you've been good all year, because you don't want coal, because in this particular year, we don't burn coal very much anymore. So no coal. Be good.
Well, you could always get there, take the power station locally, and see if they can give you some more electricity for the time being.
Yeah, sure.
While you're heading towards the power station, why not check out some Christmas lights in your area with this website here, where you can actually search for lights in your local area all over the country, not just in certain areas. I know there's certain Facebook pages and certain websites that focus on individual areas, but there's also the website that actually covers the whole of Australia. Also, show notes will have the description, the link for that. Also put on the screen here as well, that you can see what the website looks like. Should you want to go driving around the area, your local area, maybe you want to go interstate, see what lights are like there. They're all over the place, and it takes a long time to set them up. As someone who's done it for a fair few years, it's not a fun process getting on that roof. So with that in mind, I want to say to everyone a very Merry Christmas to everyone, and hopefully you enjoy yourself with your family and also the wider community. Make the most of it, enjoy yourself. Don't eat too much. We've all been there, we've all had that situation, but just spend the time with the family, your loved ones, and please look after yourselves.
I fully concur with that, Matthew, and obviously watching and listening on podcasts to people. They've probably come in Australia from different parts of the world. And it's important that we acknowledge their existence. So, for example, should you be from France, could I say to you, Joyeux Noël? If you've come from Germany, Frohe Weihnachten. If you're Italian, that's your background, then it's Buon Natale. If you're Greek, it's Kala Christoyana. If you're from Lithuania, it's Linksmu, Kalendu. If you're from Spain, Feliz Navidad. Good song too from Jose Feliciano there, worth playing. If you're from Sweden, Glad Yule. And if you have Cantonese as a language, you've come from a Cantonese speaking area of China, Sing Dan Phai Lok. And it doesn't matter which way you say it. As Matthew has said, from the bottom of my heart, I want you especially, to have a very joyous, special and fruitful Christmas. Take care.
See you next year, Gareth.
Bye, Matthew. You didn't record it because we did originally.
We're having more fun now.
Yeah. You should just put all this messed up one. Put the whole thing up.
I'm actually tempted to.
You're actually saying I didn't record it. I have fun when I do these things.
Ignore the clock behind Gareth, people. Do not look at the clock. We are not doing a second take. There's a clock there. I'm pointing to the clock. Look, I'm pointing to the clock.
Do the cold opening again?
Yeah, I didn't record it.
You didn't record. Actually, that take was better than the first take.
I know, see?